Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now we're back again with another Alliance War video, and what a war this was. So now just a quick reminder, New Nation isn't pushing for top of the Masters this time around, because quite frankly season rewards are not quite worth it, and everybody's better off just trying to save every single point of loyalty that you possibly can. But even with that kept in mind, this war quite literally made me almost evacuate my phone in an emergency matter through a window, because sometimes this game can just be so frustrating. And we're gonna see exactly the same thing that I talked about in my Eternity of Pain video, where the champions just seem to be kind of phlegmatic. And most of the times in past, if I did have some sort of input issues, then they were either resolved with using finger sleeves and making sure that the phone is dry and my hands are dry and there's nothing else that could potentially, cause some sort of disturbance on the screen. And that is exactly what I thought in this war as well initially. And I just kept wiping my hands, I kept wiping my screen, I kept making mistakes as I was doing so because controls clearly were not working. And I just kept getting wrecked and wrecked and wrecked in this war. So we're going to go and see against X5E. And this is going to be the team I'm using, Kitty, Tiger, and CGR. And these are going to be some of the worst fights ever that you guys will see on this channel. And at some point, I think you guys are going to see where I was playing just through anger and frustration, even though this season isn't that particularly important. This entire incident also did end up causing some sort of argument in my alliance, so we'll see how this entire thing ends. But again, because in past, most of the time, if I did have input issues, it did seem to be related to some sort of condensation or just some liquids or sweat being on the screen or in hands. But this time it seems way different, because every time I immediately restart my phone and restart the game, it seems to work fine for a moment, and then I got further confirmation about it earlier today when I did my Section 2 fights. Pretty much exactly the same thing happened, where my champion just stands open like an idiot, does nothing, and gets hit. But again, we're gonna see that in just a second. This Nick Fury, I have done this fight in past perfectly, no problems. I obviously didn't plan on dying or taking this also like super carelessly. I did boost up for this, and I get my level 3. All of that's fine. We have to work with ebb and flow knockdown. I always want to make sure that I have my promises before I knock him down, and here it's going to be the moment where it's just screwed up. So you can see he throws this level 1 and it's fine, because he threw his level 1 immediately. I only had 1 prowess. He was unblockable. There was not much I can do about it. So that bit was fine. And here we have the first big mistake, when he dashes in at me, and I'm just standing there. Just not dexing, not even trying to dex, not even trying to do anything. Let's see. Him dash in at me. Nothing. And I immediately get KO'd. So then I figured 40% revive, I'll save my loyalty, and basically the same thing happened again. And at this point, I was just playing out a spite, I think, here, where I died twice. I'll finish the fight fine, but I still had some input issues in that as well. And then pretty much the same thing occurred in this fight, where I just couldn't get out of the way. I have played against Scorpion multiple times, and I just couldn't get out of the way. Every time he threw level 1, I either ate it to the face, or I just, again, it didn't even try to dex it. Which is stupid. Whatever, I went in there, finished that fight. Again, luckily, this isn't one of the wars that we absolutely had decided to win. And now we're going to see a contrast of after I restarted my phone, after I restarted the game. There's going to be absolutely no issues in a fight against, arguably more dangerous opponent for Kitty Pryde. Because against Nick Fury, obviously, you do have class advantage. Even if Nick Fury does bypass miss, it works out better for Kitty because you can just get to special attacks quicker. But in this fight, we can see everything goes smooth. I can all of a sudden dex away from her basic attacks. Now when she's throwing special attack, I'm dashing in, she's taking damage. There's virtually no issues in this fight. And as I spoke later with a teammate of mine, it is likely to do with memory leak on the phones. When if you do play this game for a bit, then basically it causes some sort of memory leak. And then it seems like the input refractor just kind of gets overloaded. And this is going to be very interesting fight as well. So originally I was meant to take these fights to CGR, but it's fine. My CGR is KO'd, my Tiger is fully live. I know it's Conduit Defender, but I figured Tiger should be able to do this fight because I'm feeling fairly comfortable playing with Tiger against Cable and Hulkling as well for that matter. So I figured, you know, not gonna do CGR. I use that one loyalty revive because one loyalty doesn't matter. I boost it up a bit. And here we can see again, I had a delay in dash in. Then I stand there. I don't parry. I just eat a heavy attack. And we can see in a moment as well where I'm just gonna stand there without doing anything. So I'm gonna drop my heavy attack. Obviously my health is disappearing as well, but it's okay. I can still win this fight. Drop my level 2. I have my senses active. Things fine. I have 21%. So that's not an assassin's range as well, but there's just no parry. It just hits me in the face and parry doesn't exist. And then again, I go on, restart my phone, restart my game, and I'm going to bring in the 40% CGR in here. And we're going to see that again, there's going to be no issues. All of a sudden, I have learned how to parry. All of a sudden, everything's working. I can throw a full combo perfectly fine. Go for a level 2. CGR is the defender that has access to the offensive tactic. I think it was called slow your roll. Then go for another level 2 and the fight's over. Simple, straightforward. No problem. No problem at all whatsoever. And the same, well, in Hulkling fight, I'm just going to use CGR. It's not going to be the perfect fight, but, oh, here's the biggest mistake when I eat that second hit of the heavy attack. I thought I can squeeze it in quickly enough, but it's fine. Not a big deal. Ends up throwing his level 1 there because I kind of butchered the start, but it's all right because by getting hit and getting that armor up, I still can finish the judgment cycle. Now I'm just going to go in for the full combo. He's indestructible, but it doesn't matter too much because those regens are still getting mitigated, so he can't regen. I'm throwing my level 2 there on 4 judgments purposely because if I had nullified that indestructible with a 5th judgment, then he would get a passive one for longer duration. And here I just finish out the fight. Nothing else to it. And both times, after these issues occurred, all it took was a quick restart of the phone and the game, and all of a sudden the controls seemed, you know, about as good as you can get in this game. And hey, the worst thing at this point also is you never know, or you always doubt whether it was you. Because there's still part of me saying, like, what if all those 5 times I missed the parry, I missed the parry and it wasn't a game problem? Or what if when Nick Fury was dashing in at me, I just stood there and froze? Even though it doesn't make sense. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. We do hundreds of fights like this, you know, every month. And it is within a muscle memory. When a champion dashes in at you, you dash back no matter which champion dashes in at you. But you can't help but to keep doubting yourself. And also that uncertainty, because this game has went through so many different issues, you don't even know which one of them is actually affecting you. And yeah, needless to say, it was a very, very frustrating day yesterday, which resulted in, you know, some infighting and arguing as well with Alliance, and it just doesn't feel great. None of it. You know, it doesn't feel great to die in a war, even if it's a season when you're not pushing at all. It doesn't feel great because you end up using items that you were meant to be conserving anyways, because just to be safe, I end up healing Kitty. It doesn't feel great because it leads into arguments and fights. And yeah, I don't know what to say there. Truly do hope Kabam can get a handle of their crap. Really sucks the joy out of the game. Not to mention the fact that, you know, the joy of Alliance work had already been sucked out by a shitty decision making, but it just further degraded by, I don't know, inability to, I don't know, have this game perform basic fight functions. And then obviously the fallout that occurs from it. But at the same time, you know, I died. I know you guys like to see me die. So you guys saw me die a bunch in the most stupid, moronic ways possible. So at least, maybe, some good comes of it. And, you know, you get what you wanted to see. Either way, I'm going to catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the